Mexico's largest city stretches as far as the eye can see and beyond. 22 million households in this country are middle and low income. Only half of them have a bank account.
50% we have doing well with 50%, but we have the other 50% that we have failed.
Banks are not serving the needs of the lower income people in Mexico.
They've been vaccinated against the financial system.
And that's kind of why we did the project, was to create savings products for people.
CGAP has brought in IDEO.org, the non-profit arm of the California design firm, to work with one of Mexico's largest banks and come up with a product that will open the market to low-income savers.
What we wanted to see was more disruptive innovation. A commercial bank driving a product that was clearly, one step ahead in terms of, delivering something of value, something that would really serve people in a different way.
Pero qué linda te ves, oaxaqueña.
The team has been in Mexico for the last week. Today, Javier has arrived to see how they're progressing.
There is poverty, but it's not as desperate as you'd see in Africa.
What we're trying to target here are those positioned in the $8 to $12 a day income.
IDEO's process begins by talking to low-income people about how they manage their finances.
Usually we have 2 or 3 interviews a day in big cities like this. It takes so long to get anywhere.
Now, in the second week of interviews, Gabby and Chava are in Chalco, a migrant town on the eastern outskirts of Mexico City.
Yeah, it's her.
Ya, gracias.
¿Nos sentamos aquí? Sí, está bien. Si se quiere sentar ahí.
She used to have a bank account, but then she got charged so much commissions that she couldn't withdraw any money. She lost all of it. So she has such a negative experience of the bank that she doesn't want to get a bank account. They are basically robbers.
La mera verdad, como lo que no me da tanta confianza los bancos.
People associate the bank with a commission, and if there's any way we can get around that, I think we'll improve our chances of success a lot. People don't think about saving in the way that the bank thinks about saving. There's a whole suite of phrases associated with keeping your money safe.
¿Tienes guardadito en la casa? ¿Qué haces con el...?
Sí, el dinero que va saliendo, así como era de esto, pues los voy echando en un botecito.
¿No se te antoja agarrar dinero? ¿No se te hace muy fácil porque lo tienes a la vista? ¿Yeah?
Ahí a la mano.
A la mano, pues sí, porque pues que los niños que ya quieren algo, ahí digo, híjole, ya se me acabó lo del gas, pues de ahí agarro.
Often the most interesting things you hear are as you're getting up to leave. It's, they're like, oh, I just remembered, I have this box in my room where I have, 3 categories. People think about projects, not about a savings account.
Digamos, ocupo otro botecito igual que lo tengo aparte donde digo este va a ser para comprar las cosas y el otro es para estar dando cambio.
People like that separation of money into different containers because it helps to create some prioritization, what they can spend, what they cannot.
Ay, qué lindo.
They call this the bunker. It's command central for Bancomer, the largest bank in Mexico, and for the next 12 weeks, it will be the center of IDEO.org's operation. Here on the first floor, the IDEO team has set up their war room.
A lot of times, banks and many institutions are focused on expanding access, as if that was the main barrier. Right. And probably is one of the barriers, but certainly not the only one.
I met a few people that debanked themselves mainly because of commissions.
And we're making these distinctions between unbanked, debanked, and banked, because a lot of people aren't necessarily feeling excluded, but rather they exclude themselves because they're not finding the offering attractive for their needs. What would bring them back? How do we rebank?
Bancomer is known for serving the middle and upper income market. Now the bank is interested in reaching lower income Mexicans.
If we are able to successfully find products relevant for poor people, this is the right kind of organization at the right point in time to bring these products to market at a big scale. this is not going to happen by itself. Big commercial banks that are well positioned are good at bringing a product to scale, but not necessarily at innovating and understanding where the opportunities are for innovation.
Muchísimas gracias.
We believe our inspiration comes from people. We always start with people because that's often not where business starts.
It is something completely new for us, no? This way to manage the ideas and to go deep with the customer.
We're pushing Bancomer to act differently.
They understand the problem and they want to do this. That's why they're actually working with us in the first place. But we think they need a lot of help and they need to do a lot of work to access this segment of the population.
If we have 6 million customers, you have to survey 5,000 people, no, to have information about the market. And these guys, they don't do that, no? They are working with 20 customers, no? But in a very deep way, no? In a deeper way, and it is something amazing, no, for us.
¿Y tu mamá ya tiene separado el dinero por renta, por pañales, por leche? ¿Tú se lo das separado y ella te lo guarda?
Y ella me lo guarda ya.
¿Y por qué se los das a tu mamá?
Para que ella me los guarde, porque si aquí los tengo, luego me los ando queriendo gastar en cualquier cosa.
The concepts that we've shared with Bancomer so far, we've called them sacrificial concepts because they're really just getting at one question. They're not fully baked.
¿Te gustaría utilizar alguno de estos?
En la caja.
La caja. ¿Para qué? ¿Qué dinero meterías aquí?
Pues el ahorro lo que llevo ahorrado.
So we're using them just as examples to get at discussions and talk to people about what counts and what matters to them.
Estoy en tandas. Mi mamá las hace, entonces yo le entro a las tandas.
Almost everyone we met during the research was either in a tanda or organized tandas. So people save in tandas because there's no interest. They don't pay any fees. It's like a group savings fund. We tend to start hearing the same things over and over again. And that's usually when we know that we have a direction or we know that it's something important to think about. We believe strongly in making things really visual and putting things on the wall so that everyone can see them. If it's stuck in your notebook, it will never rise to the surface.
General observations underneath that one. Insights is kind of things that we hear over and over again. So these are all things that are bubbling up and we're like starting to put little ideas together. None of them are really fleshed out or worked out yet, but it's the beginnings.
We are going to spend 3 months in a design phase. No, we never do that. No, we spend maybe 2 weeks or 4 weeks at most, 4 weeks in the design phase.
It has to be a sustainable business. It has to get them excited about it. Jorge has explicitly said they don't need to make a profit, but it also means they can't lose money on it. So it has to be a good idea that works and works within the laws and incredible regulations in Mexico.
We don't need to have very high profits of this market. No, but if this market is going to lose, the bank is not going to be happy with that.
Okay. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Soy Salvador. Muchas gracias.
After 10 days and 20 in-depth interviews, the research phase is coming to a close.
Siéntense, por favor.
She's got 3 kids, 2 are in primary school and 1 is in secundaria. But they do have a big TV. And they have a computer.
Cuando compramos esta tele, yo invertí un poquitito más, o sea, tenía un poquitito más de ganancia, porque en ese entonces yo vendía zapatos por catálogo.
They acquire things when they have the money together or when they have a way to go about it. So they don't like being in debt.
Two things interesting about the TV is that was the discount from 12,000 to 8,000. And the second thing is that she bought it because her kids wanted it.
Everyone thinks in terms of what do they need in 6 months, a year, 5 years. And that's how people organize their money today.
En diciembre, que son los 6 meses, ya podríamos decir, bueno, tengo tanto, con esto les podemos comprar algo a mis hijos, ¿no? O sea, y es dinero que voy guardando poco a poquito y no voy a poder sacar nada.
Dijiste que no te gustan los bancos. ¿Por qué no te gustan?
Ay, en primera porque me dan miedo. Me dan miedo ahora sí que por los asaltos.
Imagínate que tuvieras una cuenta en el banco o quisieras ir a hacer algún depósito. No one trusts the channels that we're showing, like either the bus, the module, or the bicycle. But if the module is inside a store, inside Coppel or inside Walmart, then I can trust it.
No tanto porque me dieran el cafecito, ¿verdad? Pero porque estaría dentro de una tienda más seguro.
There's cats and turkeys and, kinds of animals happily coexisting.
Igualmente, muchas gracias. ¿Aquí van a salir? ¿Aquí derecho?
It's definitely the last day because we're totally out of space on the walls.
How the bank can give some additional value to these customers.
And that's what we're searching for as well, because we definitely hear security. Yeah. But what else is there besides security? Where's the emotional side to it? Or where does it fit into their lives in different ways?
You can offer them that their money can be active. That's another value that the bank can offer, I think, to this segment.
We keep asking, how do you beat the mattress? How do you beat the informal tanda?
Yeah.
You have to offer something.
I think really clear organization around projects is one way, possibly.
Yeah.
Buy-in is really important. I think Jorge is on board. He's really positive.
If this process turns out to be successful for you as a bank are the ones who are going to be applying it, benefiting.
And what about the tandas? It is 30%, 50%?
90.
Yeah. 90%? Really? Okay.
I think Tanda is a great opportunity, but I think we're planning on finding many opportunities.
Okay.
Each opportunity could have a range of concepts that could be created. So I think that's what we'll be doing the next 2 weeks. We'll be, connecting the dots, like creating these opportunities or uncovering them. The next couple of weeks will be really chaotic. We call it synthesis, but it's usually the parts where our clients get the most nervous. Adios. We're tossing and turning everything that we've heard and trying to create connections and find opportunities.
Adam,
Sí.
pleasure.
Mucho gusto. Sí. Gracias. Right now it's positive. We'll see what happens in the next few weeks.
Now, after 2 weeks back in their California base, the team is ready to present their concepts to the bank executives.
This is version 1. You keep the bill.
The workshop was really a key decision-making point in the project. We had these 7 concept areas. The IDEO.org team, we were excited about all of them, so we knew we had to narrow. We were really excited about some of these really new and different ideas. We had this one concept where you don't ever engage with a bank. You have no card or account, but you buy savings at the store.
100 pesos to one paper. Yeah. So it has to, you have to...
It is an idea, no?
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we were intentionally trying to create an alternative type of currency.
Deferred judgment.
I think that was a little too out there for where we're at now. And then we worked together as a group. We had worksheets printed out for all of them. So there was a worksheet with the drawings about the concepts, and we allowed Bancomer and CGAP to rate them. And we put all of those sheets on the wall. Then we voted on the top concepts. From that, it was clear which concepts the group felt were the strongest.
We're talking about 2 large concept buckets, which both feel very strong to me.
Mis Proyectos, the project-based savings account, and Tandazo, which is turning the Tanda organizers into bank executives in some form.
After 2 weeks turning the concepts into prototypes, the team is back in Mexico to test their ideas on the ground.
We want to bring people things that feel like the service could be available to them. Tanda organizers are really incredibly financially savvy. They have a network of 10, 20, 30 people that are saving money with them. It's like a group savings fund. And these people both trust them with their money, and they also trust them for financial advice at times as well.
Para la próxima de quién va a entrar.
Okay.
Ajá. Conforme esta va acabando, ya voy organizando la otra.
Her tandas are about half family and half friends. And she does better working like this than working as a secretary.
We want to turn these people into almost ambassadors for the bank, where the bank provides them a service that makes what they do today much easier, safer, and in return they become a way for the bank to access this segment that they otherwise wouldn't access.
Todo esto es buscando una forma que a los organizadores de tanda les sea más fácil que ahorita organizar su tanda.
For Tandazo, we have the kit for the organizers, and that includes everything from debit cards to a name badge to a phone application.
Pero yo, ¿cómo le voy a poder transferir a la persona?
Con tu aplicación de tu celular.
Sí.
Ahora, por decirlo, y si yo me equivoco y le di a Pedro y le tocaba a ella.
It can only be transferred to the person whose turn it is.
Yeah.
Because she was afraid of making a mistake.
Automatic. Probablemente no va a estar un iPhone, pero...
¡Ay, no!
Y le pones ahí, tienes 15 personas.
Y ya va a las 6 de
Ya se va a vencer, ¿no? Faltan 2 días.
She did mention that the kit should be made in such a way that people who don't have as much education as she does would also be able to use the kit. ¿Qué opinas de
eso?
Pues, yo opino, está bien, suena muy padre, pero decirle al cliente es con banco, ese es el mayor problema que yo le veo. Hasta luego.
So,
Elizabeth? Yeah, all our kids have schools at different times.
So she's done with the sequence of breakfasts and then she starts with the sequence of lunches. A este nuevo producto le llamamos mis proyectos.
Mis Proyectos is a categorized savings account. It allows people to pick a project that they want to save for, and either at an ATM or in a corner store, they can deposit money towards that project.
¿Cuáles dos tendrías tú?
Que sería lo de la educación y lo de ahorrar para la salud.
Emergencias médicas o así.
She knew exactly how much she could save each week. She wanted her mom to motivate her, but she didn't like any kind of discipline. She said that was for kids.
Sí, porque eso de tener dinero en casa, te juro que es bien difícil. O sea, es súper difícil. Lo de tandas y eso, sí, a veces como que ya sabes que está destinado, pero guardar a veces el dinero, híjole, sí se te hace difícil. Porque luego hay veces que quieres a veces tantas cosas que...
Es un cajero del futuro, más o menos.
Ah, bueno.
We've been working on an ATM interface that we can use on an iPad, so we can put it in front of people and get their feedback.
So she said that in the ATM where you're withdrawing money from one of your projects, which you really shouldn't do, but you are. The message is, enjoy your money. Disfruta tu dinero. Says, no, don't say that. Says like, remember, you are taking out from your project.
Recuerda que acabas de retirar de tu meta. O sea, que te recuerde que ya sacaste dinero de donde no tenías que sacar dinero.
Buena sugerencia. Sí. ¿Qué necesitaría hacer un banco para que tú dijeras,
Decir la verdad. Solamente decir la verdad.
Solo la verdad? Sí. It's crazy.
It's just this. You just need to tell me what they're actually doing.
It's crazy.
Chava's been working really hard on a business model for both of the concepts. We know that any way we want to tap into this market, we'll have to approach things differently than the bank does traditionally. We've tried to lay out a really systemic way of looking at all the ways you could get income or make the business more sustainable.
The real interesting part for the bank are the add-ons. And one of them is selling savings accounts. The other one is selling loans. Another one could be selling gift cards. And even ads.
Overnight, the project hit a road bump. After meeting with the bank's business manager, Sergio, Jorge has told the team the product needs to make $1 million in its first year.
Apparently from the meeting, Sergio wants to focus on generating revenue on the traditional revenue streams that the bank has, which are interest on credits and commissions.
Which is the opposite of what we heard at the beginning of the project, and we probably wouldn't have done this project if that was the case. We thought it was to create a sustainable business for this segment of the population.
They've been vaccinated against the financial system for whatever experience they had, which was usually always the same one, the commissions, the account management fees and stuff that they don't really understand.
90% of the interviews we did were debanked because of interest rates or commissions. Right. It's always the same story.
It was an opportunity for the bank to be able to create something different that focused on the people.
We're sad because the Proyectos account we've had
people like it.
People love it. We've had a great response specifically around being able to save, because everyone says like there's no way for me to save for the things that are important, and that's kind of why we did the project, was to create savings products for people, and I think we believe it can be sustainable
It definitely isn't going to make $1 million in the first year. The hardest thing at this point is working with the bank and finding a way to get them to move beyond the traditional way of thinking about how you sell products to people, to get them to think more lightly and innovatively and systemically.
Jorge is in Viejo Coyoacán, where the team is conducting a focus group to test mis proyectos. They're hoping to persuade him it's a hit with the customers.
Estos mis proyectos.
We've been testing really easy-to-use interfaces, giving people both the application form and different aspects of the account in really simple, clear terms.
Es muy fácil.
La
solicitud. Ay, no te la crees, o sea, es muy... Cualquier persona yo creo la podría hacer.
Saber qué tan segura era la tarjeta en caso de que te la roben. ¿Cómo te están ustedes dando la seguridad?
Pone el dinero en la rendija de abajo.
Pues ahora necesitamos tu dinero.
Sí. Ahora aquí lo tenemos. A ver, ¿ya? Y me están sacando algunas ofertas y promociones en algunas tiendas.
We've built in a number of ways that could make it more appealing to people and also help the bank make it more sustainable. One is offering targeted discounts and offers in conjunction with the projects.
Eso del como tipo cupón está padre. A mí sí me motiva mucho.
Está perfecto, está padrísimo el proyecto de servicio financiero, pero que sea transparente. Que todo quede claro desde el principio y que no haya nada oculto, ni chiquitito.
Sí.
¿Quién iría por esta cuenta? Yo.
Overall, I think we found two things that meet people's needs and that people are excited about. Tandazo is the most innovative. Mis Proyectos is probably where there's the most need. So I think this will be a big challenge, convincing the bank to look at loans as a more long-term plan in terms of generating revenue and really starting with this market in a more innovative and alternative way.
Hay muchas cosas en el sistema financiero que encuentras que son proyectos muy atractivos, pero que no tienen sustento financiero.
¿Y qué es sustentable por el banco?
Esto que te digo. Y o sea, que llegues a tener $10 millones a 5 años.
5 años.
Esa línea de ingreso de publicidad, por más que me la platican, yo no la veo.
Los préstamos pueden ser más exitosos en el futuro, pero pensaría que el gancho para atraer a las personas...
Por eso en el business case lo que tenemos que hacer es, oye, mira, durante el primer año, pues en el conservador, durante 2 años no va a haber créditos. ¿Sí? Los créditos van a comenzar a generarse en el tercer año. ¿Cuántos créditos requiero generar para llegar a los $10 millones de utilidad en 5 años?
¿Cuál es la posibilidad de que pudieran suceder los dos pilotos?
Pues depende de tu business case.
Fue un gusto. Muy padre.
We don't know whether this is going to work, to be honest. I mean, even though we are very satisfied with the products that came out of this process, they still have to be implemented and driven in a certain way. I mean, there's still huge hurdles to be met.
You have this idea of what's the benefit for the customer and what's the benefit for the bank. You have to have the two things there. No? This is a very innovative idea that we have to test, and it's a new way to do things here. No?
There's two big challenges. There's getting our concepts to market, and there's shifting the mindset of the bank to talk in the way that people think and reach them where they are.
We are not reducing the scope of success or failure to one product. It is actually the process of pushing a bank to experiment, pushing a bank to understand better the segments that it wishes to serve, and in the way generating learning for the whole market.
Pero qué linda te ves, oaxaqueña. ¡Vamos al bailongo! La oaxaqueña no me quiso querer, la oaxaqueña no me quiso adorar.